What's up, YouTube? This is Ultimate Shield 340 back at it again with another Destiny 2 video. So, in today's video, I am going to show you my run of Riven's Coil. It seems as if, as far as like YouTube is concerned and looking at the analytics of my channel, it seems that you all prefer shorter videos, probably about like 15 to 20 minutes. I'm going to try and do that in most of my videos unless there's a reason why I need to make them longer. Today is actually going to be a longer video, just as a FYI, because I wanted to talk about the new seasonal content for, the Season of the Wish, and kind of give you my thoughts about what I'm doing here during it. Now, initially, I was a little worried about this because, I'm not the best player or anything like that, and I didn't want to. One of my biggest fears is that I guess, as a gamer, I never want to be somebody who is constantly, making the group fail because I am not. My skill level is not up to par. However, as I thought more and more about it, it's like sort of not necessarily a self-fulfilling prophecy, but it's just I had a thought. Like, I can't get into that mindset because, I mean, how else am I ever going to pass the content unless I, actively try it out, and eventually, during that time of you learning in that process of discovery, you are going to fail. So, and nobody, this is still kind of, even though this is like the second or third week of Riven's Coil, I would still consider us all fairly new to this, unless you, kind of run it back to back to back to back. And I am not one of those people who have, done it back to back to back, but I have done it enough at this point to kind of understand what the mechanics are and have an idea of where I should go and what I should do. So this is sort of the result of that. In the background, you'll see me run my Void subclass. It seems kind of strange not to run either Solar or Stasis, particularly Solar because it's the seasonal. It's pretty much the, the big, subclass winner, I guess, so to speak, of the patch this time around. And, I decided I want to do Void this time around because I felt that my survivability is a little bit better on my Void subclass. Because of last season, I played my Void subclass a lot more than my current one here. And so I am choosing to do this in a run down here. Now, during this entire process, you'll see, as of right now, I'm kind of waiting on my teammate to go ahead and get the other treasure chests and stuff. So I'll just show this here right now, but later on in the video, I'll cut this out because you guys don't have to watch us posing and us being goofy between times. But, I just thought I'd show that here right now. So in this particular week, this is the first, I guess, path that you'll go through. You have to fight all these Vex. As you see us do here before, and you have to go ahead and sort of create a path so that whenever the other guy spawns in, you'll have ads and stuff that'll spawn in, and upon killing those ads, they will drop a arc. So I can't remember what they're called, but essentially you'll have to pick the arc cannon up, I guess is what the best thing I can think of it, but it'll come up on screen. You'll pick up the arc cannon, and in the sky there will be some targets for you to go ahead and destroy, but you first have to kill the the ads that actually drop the arc cannons first in order to unlock the next part. One thing that I sort of wanted to bring to your attention this entire time is that you see all those glowing things that are on the floor. You definitely want to pick those up. Of course, those are they're called wishing glass, I think it's called. And so as you pick those wishing glass up, not only is it the currency for you to buy buffs and stuff at the Riven at the start of each run, but also it improves your score. And if you get a high enough score, if you can clear the entire coil, you'll eventually get the aim is platinum, actually, which is the highest score. And once you get platinum, it will allow you to gain access to as many seasonal chests at the end of the entire run as you can possibly get. And it's actually a really great farm considering all the things that you get from it. One thing that I think, one of the biggest things I really like about this new seasonal content is that, like, Riven's Coil, although it is a significant time investment, I believe on average it takes me about 45 minutes to about an hour, give or take. My runs, again, I'm not the most skilled player or anything like that, but I usually it just sort of depends on what other people that I have. Some people are fantastic and know how to do everything and are killing waves and waves of enemies, and there's other people who are like me who will kill people and be average players as well. So your mileage will vary if you go into the coil. Um, Whenever you go into this coil, another thing that I did want to mention too is that it's a great farming method, because at the end of it all, you actually can get ascendant shards, and then other like really good in-game loot for you to masterwork your armor pieces and stuff. To me personally, I think that Destiny 2 should have more kinds of opportunities like this. One of the biggest, especially me coming from Division 2 and playing Destiny 2, um, Destiny and Division have sort of an opposite sort of problem, in the sense that the Division 2 is actually will give you actually a lot of loot depending on what you do. They actually drop quite a bit of loot a lot of the times, and you actually pick up a whole bunch of stuff that actually doesn't is actually trash for all intents and purposes, unless you're targeting the loot in some specific way. Whereas Destiny, you actually don't get as much loot. Actually, I'll give you an example. So this week, one of the spawns that I was actually trying to do is actually called Presage, which is the seasonal rotator. I was looking for the Drang is what it's called. It's the solar hand cannon, and I was also looking for the Callus Mini tool. Another, it's a pretty famous, I would say, submachine gun that is for the solar subclass as well. And when I run that thing on normal, the first time I went through it, as you will, you got a pattern unlock. But any subsequent time you run it on normal, you actually only get one weapon, which I was actually very disappointed to find out. And it's random as far as like what you'll get. And if you're like me, unfortunately, I've ran it like I would say probably a good 20-30 times on normal and not really got anything that I was looking for. I was lucky enough to get the Callus Mini tool on the very first run through, which was a red border, and it actually had incandescent on it, so I actually got really lucky with that. But other than that, I haven't gotten lucky on anything else, even though I've run that multiple times, which I actually do have content of that, which I will show to you there. And so Destiny, I think, needs to start to have more activities like this where you get more than just one thing of loot at a time. And because I really think it really makes the game really grindy, which is, I mean, it's a looter shooter, so I mean that's kind of what you expect. But I don't like having to, I would say, probably give up like 30 minutes of time to run like one activity, which is the Presage mission that I did before, and only get one gun, and it's not ever anything that I really want or need. And so that's rather frustrating. So having the coil is actually a very nice change, where you actually get a lot of good stuff all at once. Even if it's not anything that I'm particularly looking for, it does give you a whole bunch of like seasonal weapons. Does actually give you a chance to find those weapon patterns that you may or may not be looking for. Armor drops, as well as, above all else, the Ascendant Shards and all of those other things as well. So I think that's a really great change. This particular coil, we are at the end of it. Each of these coils will end with a boss. As you can see, essentially it's the same thing as I mentioned earlier before. You'll go in, kill a bunch of ads, pick up the arc cannon, and then this particular run through, you actually have to hit the boss with the arc cannon to lower its invincibility shield. And once you do, then you DPS the boss, as you see down below. So that's essentially how you'll do this particular this pathway of Riven. One thing that you'll also know is that each of the pathways have a particular theme. So this particular and whatever you start off that path with will be the theme for the rest of the path. So in this path, as you remember, you have to kill the ads, drop the arc cannon or whatever, and then destroy targets with it, which is essentially what you'll have to do for the rest of the run. In the next one, I can't remember what it is, but there's one where it'll be it'll say pervading darkness, where you will go ahead and get a debuff, and if it reaches 10, you'll automatically die, but you get to dispel the debuff if you go into path to light, and you'll do that, but you'll have to do that through the entire run through. And so you'll see what I mean as you continue to watch this, as we see here. So we did go through this run through. Now you get to go back to Riven. After all those things that you picked up from those jars, you get to go ahead and you get to pick whatever buff or anything that you have. I actually did not know this, but if you do not spend anything, or if you have anything left over, if you make a full run and you come back, they will carry over into the next one. So to clarify, if you have 100 wishing glass and you don't spend any, and then you collect, we'll say, another 100 during the run, we'll say, you'll actually have 200 when you come back, and then you'll have another 300 again if you don't spend it, or whatever you do spend, it'll just continue to carry over through the full run. Just remember, if you get booted or if you leave for whatever reason, you have to start over from scratch, so it doesn't work quite that way. So just as a heads up, don't get booted, don't leave and think that you're going to still have like 300, 400, 500 wishing glass shards. Unfortunately, it does not work that way, so just as a heads up. So this is the next part right here. As you see, we are transversing to the next part, and I'll give you more commentary when we get to this next place, which is actually here. This is the pervading darkness that I told you at before. As you see, I actually have to cross, and you have to stand on each of these plates in each of the pathways. You have to do that every single time. I forgot to mention it, but if you look on the left hand side of my screen, you'll see I have the pervading darkness debuff. If that reaches 10, you will die, and you can dispel it whenever you run into these wells of light right here, as you can see me do. In the meantime, you still have to touch each of these plates. Me and my fire team are doing that spectacularly. Make sure to avoid getting kicked off, or knocked out over the cliffs or anything. Deaths really do matter. As of right now, none of us have died, so we have still 21 revives, and we're in really good shape as we continue down this path. So just make sure that you're just being careful. If your fire team goes above you or in front of you, that's fine. Just, again, above all else, it's better for you to go slow and not die, rather than you to die and then needlessly waste your revives on silly deaths. Another thing to mention, as you see me here, there are going to be 2 chests in there. There is one that's going to be booby trapped, and then there's going to be one that's like normal. Well, you can of course loot the one that's normal, but the other booby trap one will kill you. You can't even loot it, so don't even try it, because unfortunately I did try it, and I got killed doing so. And so I always want you all to learn from my mistakes, so don't do that. After we have done all of those things, hit all the plates, kill all the ads, then we are going to go to the next area. But in each of these areas, there are secret chests. You'll see in the gameplay, we go to each of the ones that I have found, that I know about, and then make sure that you get your loot. Make sure you don't die. Pick up your pervading darkness, and then go to the next area. So then we're going to go to the next portal, to the next area once our comrade comes, and we'll continue forward. So now we're into the next area. Ads will show up like they have been doing so from before. We're gonna go ahead and DPS the ads and do what we normally do, as we do best. And as you see here, they will drop down these. I don't know how to describe it. I guess they're orbs of darkness. Where on the left you'll see right there is a lantern, and once you essentially pick up the orb, you'll need to go ahead and stand on top of that to ignite the torch, and then you'll get into the next area. So as of right now, I am just trying to just do some ad clear. My comrades have gone ahead and picked up the orbs and everything, so I'm just trying to just kill more ads and do whatever I can to help us move forward. That's one good tip I would say to pass on to anybody who is trying to do all new content. If you don't know what to do, it's always best to try and kill ads and help everybody else try and move forward in whatever they're trying to do. So that's what I would recommend here for you all as well. When in doubt, go ahead and use Add Clear, and then just make sure that you're trying to pay attention to what your comrades are doing as well, your fire team members, just so you can kind of pick up on the mechanics while watching YouTube video. I was able to watch a YouTube video, so by the time I like started the Coil, again, this is not my first run. This is probably like, I don't know, my 8th or 9th or whatever. But this is the first time, I actually recorded it or whatever. But, I knew what to do and I had an idea of what to do already. So, no biggie. Just some tips for you to think about if you're trying to do new content. Maybe watch a YouTube video if you can, or, just watch your fire team members and see what they're doing and then replicate what they do without trying to die. So we're in the next area. As you see, fire team members are shooting the pots. Those actually also have those rewards that I had told you about, the wishing glass things. Make sure that you pick those up. As you can see in front of me here, you just shoot the pot and collect the shards that are coming out there, and that increases your score and helps you to proceed forward and get extra things. The other thing about it is, if you looked, there was one of our fire team members picked it up, where it actually gave us an extra life for free. So that's really nice. It's another good reason to pick up one of those things. And here we are going to the next part. So again, make sure that again, this is pervading darkness, which is the theme for this route. Make sure that you are dispelling the debuffs by going into the balls of light. You step on each of these plates, as you see right here, to open up the path forward. Keep DPSing the ads, and make sure that you keep an eye on those pots for you to pick up, and pick up your teammates whenever they are available to do so. He died, which is actually, this is our first death of the entire run as of right now, which is actually really great. We're for all of you who do not know, there's 4 paths, and essentially we're almost done with the second half of it. So our first death after 2 runs is actually fantastic. So I think that's great. So I put down my barrier to help support my teammates, give us some overshield while we try and DPS this ad down in the distance. I do my best, whatever, and we pick up the plate and we go over to the hidden chest down below. So pick up my loot, get the next thing, and then we just move forward into the next area. Alright, we jump into the next area, and then here we are, rally to the flag, and then we go into the boss's room. Again, remember, the pervading darkness is the theme of the this path. So as you can see, we do still have the pervading darkness debuff down in the left hand side of the thing. What you want to do is you want to, of course, kill the ads, but you're looking for these ward weavers that you see in front of me, and you want to kill those guys as fast as you can, while also dispelling the pervading darkness debuff. Don't do what I did. Make sure that you're watching and paying attention to see if you're actually dispelling the debuff, because you could be standing very close to the light but not actually in the light, and you don't want to die a silly death when you're standing right next to the debuff thing to take that off of you. So essentially what you want to do is you'll go around, find the ward weavers, kill the ads, and once you kill enough of those ward weavers, then you'll go into the next phase where you will be able to damage the boss. So you'll see us kind of do that here. We have 2 of the 3 ward weavers down, looking for the third. He's over there next to the boss. He's kind of stuck in there, so I have to kind of walk around to make him vulnerable and try and hit him, but of course I'm potato and I missed. That's okay though, no big deal. We just go ahead and DPS him down, and then we move on to the next part. Alright, now that the next part is done, now we can go ahead and damage the boss. You can notice that you'll be able to damage the boss when the boss is there is a silver white line underneath him. It shows that he's immune. Now that that's gone, now that the ward weavers are gone, you can actually damage and DPS the boss. So as you can see here, make sure, again, cannot stress this to you enough, make sure that you're paying attention to your pervading darkness down below. Make sure that you are trying to do your best to DPS the boss, as you can see me doing here. Make sure you're using your heavy ammo and things like that. I'm actually kind of bad at remembering to do that. I kind of get, stuck on one weapon. I have the Monte Carlo, which is actually a very great weapon, but if you have the opportunity to do big damage, and this is a big damage phase, make sure that you're bringing out your heavy weapons and things like that to, do much more damage than you normally would do. Now, as you can see, I'm pulling out my hand cannon right here, which is the Trust, which is a solar weapon. The idea behind it was that I'm going to try and pull out this weapon to gain Radiant during the damage phase to increase my damage, and do that while we continue to do that. So pop my super, go ahead and continue to try and DPS the boss. Pervading darkness is still going on. This particular boss will slow you as well, so just also be wary of that. And then as you can see here, I do have Radiant. I'm going to run into pervading to dispel the buff, get the Radiant buff going again, and then trying to again DPS the boss and things like that. So that's what the idea is here to do. So once you go ahead and do all those things, continue to DPS the boss, kill it down, and then that's essentially the two halves of that's halfway through of the Riven's Coil. So I'll let you all see what we kind of do for the rest of this, and then I'll just add more commentary when we get to the next area.
This run will be different. You'll get what you came for, if you wish it.
So here we are, starter path 3. As you continue to save up more of those glass fused wishing glasses, you'll be able to buy bigger and bigger bonuses. As you can see here, you can either do grenade recharge 500% faster, or the shields recharge. It depends on what you want to do or what's best for you and your build. Personally, I decided I wanted to try the grenades. Throwing more grenades is always better. This is the start of the third part of Riven's Coil, so we're just kind of waiting on our last fire team member before we proceed forward. And essentially we'll try again. This is the start of the next loop. Each time you start a new loop, each of the combatants' power will increase by 5. So since this is now the third time, now they're going to be 15 power level above what we started at. So the enemies are going to be a bit tougher. So again, heads up, nothing to be too crazy about as long as you have good positioning and things. It's not too ridiculously crazy. So again, not to worry you, just something to inform you about. So don't be intimidated by Riven's Coil if you happen to want to play it yourself and haven't yet. So you can do it, just it's going to take some time. You are going to die a lot. So just be patient with yourself and don't worry too much about it. And, I'm hoping that if you see this, then you can kind of know what to expect, know what to look for whenever you go through your own run. Now, in this particular run, it's the poison patches, which is actually poison patches and traps, I guess, is kind of what the theme is here. So as you go through here, you'll have to fight the ads and things like that, and then there'll be areas where you will, unfortunately, you will go into the patches of poison. If you go through the patches of poison, you won't die immediately, but I would also recommend not standing in that for too long, because it will creep up on you and you will die very quickly if you do not get out of there quickly. In the event that you do die, one thing I forgot to mention is that tip and trick here is that if you are with a fire team, you actually start to recover quicker if you're closer to your fire team members. So in the event that if you are able to do so, make sure that you kind of run back to your teammates so that your regeneration will start sooner rather than later. Also, one other thing you saw me just do as well is that if you're seeing a pot, don't shoot it immediately. Actually, you want to run up to the pot and then shoot it. The reason being is because once you shoot the pot, the shards will actually go all over the place. And if you're standing next to the pot, you actually collect all of the shards all in one go, as opposed to they potentially could, fall into a trap or fall off the stage, and you don't want to do all of that. So, no need to do all of that. So as you can see here, we touched all the plates. We have looted now the secret treasure. We're kind of being goofy because we thought our fire team member was going to come through, and I think he's still looking for something, but no mind. We are going to go to the next portal, to the next area. All right, so we get into the next area. Then you'll see a whole bunch of ads and everything spawn, and you will see this invincible kind of guy down here with those that immortal shield down at the bottom, as you see here. In order to break that shield and then eventually go to the next area, what you'll need to do is, of course, kill the ads, as it says on the left-hand side of the screen. And eventually there are going to be specific ads that will come out and attack you that you will need to kill. Once you kill that particular ad, and I'll call it out whenever I see it here on screen so that you know what to look for, essentially they will drop what is called an ephemeral virus. You'll pick up it'll look like a black floating sphere, which you'll see again in the gameplay, but essentially you'll want to pick that up, and you'll have a timer on the left hand side of your screen. Now that's the mechanic of this coil, is the ephemeral virus. What you'll do is you'll have a timer on the ephemeral virus, and during that timer you can go ahead and attack that boss. This is the enemy that you're going to look for, which will have that over its head. Once you kill it, it'll drop the ephemeral virus, which is that glowing orb you see. You'll be able to then attack the boss and take down the shield. As you notice, the ephemeral virus is counting down on the left hand side of my screen. If that reaches 0, you will die. So in order for you to not die, what you'll need to do is dispel it, which you'll jump in the middle of that glowing sphere, as you saw back before, and you will cleanse yourself of the debuff. Because we cleared it all in one go, we didn't have to do that, so just something for you to know for the future. We go on to the next spot. More poison traps, as you see down below. You'll see these are another special enemy in the coil. I forgot what they're called, but they actually, if you kill that glowing enemy, as you just saw us do, they actually drop a lot of those things, those shards that you can use to buy and improve your score. So make sure that if you see those guys, make sure to prioritize killing them, so that you can not only improve your score, but also to gain more currency for your buffs and everything. Again, same thing. You just dodge all the pots and everything. Make sure that you're pressing each of the plates. Collect the loot from the secret treasure chest, which you'll see if you have the mod equipped on your ghost. And just make sure you don't die, kill the ads, press all the plates, go to the next area. So I'll go ahead and let the gameplay play while you watch us do that, and then I'll pick up commentary for the next area. Alright, so we are at the end of the third area right here. So of course, rally to the flag like you have seen before, and the same thing applies. Again, we're going to kill the ads. You see that there's actually two bosses that actually have the impenetrable shield, but then there's the special enemy that you see me fighting right now. We have to kill these guys, collect the ephemeral virus, and the first boss kind of character that you want to kill first is the guy in the middle. The reason why you want to kill the guy in the middle is to dispel your ephemeral virus so you don't die to it, is the first thing. So once you get the ephemeral virus, I'm just kind of killing some ads as we speak right now, just so I can kind of give myself a little breathing room. You want to kill the guy in the middle and then damage the boss so that you can take down his shield. Once you take down his shield, you want to cleanse yourself of the ephemeral virus like you just saw me doing by jumping in the middle, and then you want to DPS the boss. Now, once you do that, on the left-hand side, you'll see you have a certain amount of time to DPS the boss before his shields will regenerate. In our case, we have about a minute's worth of time to go ahead and do that. So, of course, kill the ads as you can see fit, but you want to try and do as much damage to the boss during this time. And then the mechanic, because if you don't kill the boss during that time frame, of course the mechanic will repeat and you have to do it again, which is fine, no problem, but just something to be aware of in the event that you can't kill it all in one go. So no big deal. If you can in one go, that's great. If not, then no big deal. As you can see here, we are doing tons and tons of damage to the boss. I am trying to do my best. I'm essentially being chased by the boss here at this point, but of course, come down here, kill the ads, make sure that I don't die. Again, our group is actually in really good shape. We have not died very often. None of us actually have died too many times in this entire run, so we're actually up on lives and revives as we speak. So again, just continue to DPS the boss, shoot him down, do whatever you can to do as much damage as you can, and make sure that the ads don't one-shot you here at this point. As the shields come back up, as you can see, we were not able to kill the boss. It just essentially starts over again. These guys come down. You want to kill them as fast and as best as you can. Don't be afraid to use that heavy ammo that I have done. Pick up the ephemeral virus, as you can see. Kill the ads, make sure you don't die, and keep an eye out on your timer and support your teammates as I'm doing here with ad clear. And then once you have that available, you want to go ahead to the middle area, kill the boss that's standing in the middle, and then once you do that, you want to DPS the big boss wherever he may be, and then you want to take down the boss as best you can. So during this time right now, some of us are dying, which is no big deal. Again, we're ahead on the revives. Pick up the ammo, make sure that you are supporting your teammates. As of right now, although it would be in my best interest to go ahead and DPS the boss, I can't see the boss, and so because I'm not next to the boss and I know my comrades are, I'm sort of going back to ad clear until I can actually kind of get some breathing room to see where the boss is and add DPS to the boss. But my comrades are doing a pretty good job of doing that right now, so I'm just supporting them as the best as I can by killing the ads. So we were able to kill the boss, no big deal. You go ahead and collect all your stuff down here, go into the next area. So the next area is the last coil, the last run, which I'll explain to you as far as what's some tips and tricks to do. But this is Ultimate Shield 340 signing off, and I'll see you in Destiny 2, and I will record the last part of this run. Peace.